Epic Gaming Night is made possible by the support of patrons like you. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Canny, and with me as always is Matt.
Hello.
And Rob.
Hey.
Hype. So yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Did everything go fine without me? Everybody needs to tell me all the terrible things that they said about me in chat.
Don't tell him anything.
I can tell that you're back because Mark's on.
Oh. He didn't show up when I wasn't on the podcast?
Not at all. I think he got on for like a couple seconds, saw that you weren't here, and then he left.
It's like, oh man, my best friend's gone.
He turned it on and was like, oh, there must not be a podcast tonight, and then he just turned it off.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome, guys. Well, Today we're going to be talking about games on the go, but before we get into all that, we have a bunch of news and games we've been playing. So I guess we're going to start off with this news. And this first one, I want to hear Rob's thoughts on, because it is an expansion for his supposed favorite game of all time. This is Streets of Arkham, is a new expansion coming out for Mansions of Madness. This adds three new scenarios to the application, adds a bunch of new like tiles. It's supposed to have like more like street tiles and like museum-y type tiles, and like the Miskatonic University type tiles. And then it also has 4 new monster groups, 4 new investigators, and there's new ways to upgrade your investigator. So now you can like kind of similar to how in Arkham Horror or Eldritch Horror, you could upgrade your stats of your character. In Mansions, there was no way to currently do that in 2nd edition. So now they're adding ways to like get stat boosts. So that way, if you need more lore, you can figure out a way to upgrade your stat rather than just having like an item. There's little tokens you put to show that you have more.
If you play Betrayal, you can just stand in a room.
Yep, pretty much.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
But yeah, I think it looks cool. I really want to see how much stuff is in this box, because it's a big box expansion. The last one was a small box expansion. I want to see how much of the, and more of the same sort of stuff they add into this, because I want to see how many more cards and things like that they add, because that's the stuff that's really exciting to me, because they can just go anywhere. I want lots more spells, and lots more weapons, and lots more insane conditions and other crazy conditions. And because this thing is not cheap. It's like $60 MSRP, so that's like that's like twice as much, if not more than twice as much, as the small box expansion that we just had. So good times. What are you thinking, Rob? Did you take a look at this at all, or how excited are you?
I've just seen like some of the highlight stuff. I haven't read in depth on any of it, but I've just seen like the quick promotions that they have for it. I really like the idea of upgrading your character. Especially for like some of the puzzles, because sometimes, you know, when you play the game, you get separated and you have that one stupid character who they're not stupid, but
they're not doing what they should be doing.
Well, yeah, and
the guy who's good with beating people up is over there trying to solve
to do all these puzzles, and it's like, bro, we don't need you to be doing puzzles, and it takes you like 4 turns. Not that you can't get it, but your intelligence is so low, you only get like 2 turns to be able to solve this 9-turn. Anyway, so I'm excited for that. I love Mansions of Madness. I'm gonna buy it, and so pretty pumped.
It's interesting because I just got all the stuff for it, and I just, like, while I was on vacation, while I was gone, I just played the last scenario of it that I hadn't played yet. I just played the Dunwich one, the one that you played with your friend Lee or whatever. Mm-hmm. I just finally played that one, so now I have officially played through all of them. Some of them I've played through a ton of times, but I could still replay them some. But I'm excited to see that there's going to be more content, so I can get more. The game is fun to replay the scenarios, but there's something special about playing one of the scenarios for the first time. You know?
Yeah,
there's a lot of replay value in it, And they do change, and the map changes when you play them again, but the first time is always the best time, I think. So I'm excited to see that there's more stuff coming out. But yeah, that is Streets of Arkham for Mansions of Madness.
Sweet.
This next one is IDW announced that they're coming out with a Legends of Korra board game. Did you watch the Legends of Korra, Matt?
I watched the first 2. I think I watched the first 3 seasons. There was one season where they took it off the air and they made it online only, and I haven't caught up with it from the air.
This is the last Airbender. I don't know if you know about it, Rob. I know you're deep into the anime, but I don't know if this is the one that you're digging on or not. But
it's pretty solid. Your girls will love it.
Yeah. The Last Airbender is pretty cool stuff. The whole first season the whole first series of Last Airbender is like straight up epic and like classic. But the Legend of Korra is really cool too, and a lot of people like it. And the interesting thing about this game is it's going to be based around the professional airbending championship stuff, which actually is a little bit less exciting for me. But I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to do with the Legend of Korra IP. And apparently they announced that Nickelodeon's going to be working with IDW for several different games. So I'm excited to see what all comes out of that, you know. Because it's interesting to see when IP games are done correctly. And we recently talked to Jonathan Gilmour a couple podcasts back about IDW doing IP games. Well, we talked to Jonathan working on some of the IP games with them, and then we talked to Daryl about all the different IPs and stuff like that.
Speaking of IP games, just got my notification from my Walking Dead No Sanctuary game that was supposed to ship. It was supposed to ship in April. We're now not getting it till October. They just now have everything going at the factory. Everything's been approved. So, and they reassured us, hey guys, it's going to come out to us before anybody else, and that's great. And that's fine, but still, like,
have they been good with communication? You
started making it in the factory at the time you said you were going to be shipping it. Like, I think that's hilarious.
Have they done like good communications and stuff like that with most things, or has it been?
I mean, sort of. They've just been playing it off on, hey, we need approval from AMC and other stuff, and I imagine it's all legit. I mean, I get it, but still, man, I really want that game, and I don't know if I think about it. I guess October is not terrible because that's around when the new season's coming out, so it'll be kind of hype for that. But still,
awesome.
That's what I wish I had now.
The Kickstarter for all of the Zai Emas of a Forsaken Star are all coming out. I got my Kickstarter copy, even though I've been playing it for forever. But yeah, Cody, with his like all the stuff he says about like the process of that Kickstarter has been like amazing to me. Like every step of the way, he's posting things about what's going on, and hey, I got some samples back of the ships, and hey, I didn't like the paint job, so I sent it back, and hey, I got these asteroids in, but they don't pop into the stands perfectly, send it back. And he's just like letting people know every step of the way. When they let you know when it was starting production, he let you know when it was done with production, he let you know it was getting on the ships. When it was getting on the ships, he gave like website links to each of the ships for each different country, so you could track the ships that it was going out on. Like, it was ridiculous. And he had like pictures of the ships on the Kickstarter page. He's like, hey, this is what the ship looks like that your thing is on. And I'm like, hey man, we need to upgrade that with some tier 3 engines and some GTS so it can get across the ocean faster. But, it was I mean, the way that Far Off Games, such a small company, like runs the communication of their Kickstarter is pretty amazing. I mean, maybe part of it's being, actually no, just because you're a smaller company doesn't mean that you should be doing better. Bigger companies have more people, so they should be able to communicate easier.
They have people specifically for PR.
Yeah, so I wish more people would run their Kickstarters like with lots of communication, because I guess some people might not want to be bothered if they're really waiting on the game. They might not want to hear about it every couple weeks, being like, yo, but I just want it to be here. But it's cool to see the steps of the process when there's something that you've backed, you know. That's part of the backing, the whole Kickstarter thing, or the appeal of it is helping designers follow their dreams, and it's cool to be a part of that, you know. So,
speaking of which, the communication from Gray Fox about Champions has been pretty spot too.
That's awesome. And they're another small company. I mean, Gray Fox Games is just a few people, like 2 or 3. So
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see? I know we didn't put this in the news, but Lords of Hellas and Green Horde both finished today.
Oh yeah.
Ah, wallet.
Pretty much. Oh, were you backing both of those?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They ended on the same day?
Yes.
Yeah. Rip wallet
Hours
for
apart.
Sure, man.
Lords of Hellas ended at 10, and I think Green Horde ended at like 6.
Hey man,
No, Green Horde ended over 5.
I've got some ramen in my cabinet if you need it, man.
But it did set a new Cool Mini or Not record. They've never had a Kickstarter end over 5 million, and this was the first one.
Yeah, what was Rising Sun at? Because Rising Sun was their biggest one.
Yeah, it was like 4 something, I think.
Yeah, and this one just killed it. But this like Green Horde had so many add-ons. There are so many add-ons. Like I was just scrolling through.
I may have gotten an add-on there too.
I was just looking.
Yeah.
And they also did interesting things because they made exclusives within the add-on, so it forces you to buy the add-on.
Stuff.
Yeah, I really was like, man, I'm glad I'm not backing this. I mean, I guess that's bad to say, but I was like,
no, it's
this is Rob's thing. He can get all the stuff, and we'll play it someday. But I was like, man, you get really tempted to buy those add-ons because if you don't buy them now, you're gonna miss out. So
you only can get them at the Cool Mini or Not Expo for the low cost of $35, and buying whatever games they have.
Standing there with a vice on your wallet, just like wringing every dollar out of it that they can. So, yeah, good times. Anyway,
I think only Lords of Hellas is posted in my bank account so far.
Gotcha.
Ugh.
Good times. Well, then they'll charge you shipping. They'll charge you shipping in like another month when the pledge manager's done.
Lords of Hellas, though, that Kickstarter, man, I think I'm more excited for that than I am for Green Horde, especially the way that it ended.
I'm excited to see how it works.
Oh, man. They have some big stuff coming to that game.
Yeah, man. Big stuff. Big ideas.
I did not jump on any of the expansions. I did not get the 6-player expansion with Hector in them. I thought, let me play it first because I've never played it. Let me see how I've already played Zombicide, so I already know how I'm going to like Zombicide. And so I'm excited for that. That's why I jumped on that. But, you know, they didn't say the 6-player was just going to be an exclusive. And so if I end up liking the game, I'll pay the extra couple bucks in the future to get that 6-player expansion. Nice. But anyway, I'm pretty pumped for that one, actually. And then freaking, you know what did it for me on the Green Horde, adding those extra expansions, is the little guys that come with it. Okay, no, that was, I had already, the unicorn was a stretch goal.
Free things, yeah.
No, I got the 2 additional expansions with the, that comes with like the little Stranger Things characters.
Yeah.
Both of them. The one that comes with the crazy dragon that's super tall, and then the other one that comes with like 10 quests.
Man.
But now I should have all of the Stranger Thing characters. And I just love that.
Dude,
like,
I was re-looking at that.
Just the Stranger Things people.
I was re-looking at that picture of the what is it, like Z or something, but like it's really 11. Like she's holding a box of Eggos. Like how awesome is that? Like that's ridiculous.
So her and 2 of the guys, I think the little black kid and maybe the kid that kind of has a crush on 11, they're part of the Kickstarter exclusives. You know,
is
part
Dustin
of the
in it or not?
Dustin, the guy, my favorite guy, missing the teeth. He is a Kickstarter little exclusive character that comes with the first add-on that added the 10 scenarios and the tiles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Kickstarter exclusive that comes with the huge dragon. That little character is the kid who got abducted from the monster. So
Will or whatever.
Yeah, it's Will.
Nice.
So we'll see. It's not a good thing, Mark. They're great.
Awesome. Well, the last thing I want to talk about on the news is that they announced 3 new unlock scenarios. One that is a like haunted house type scenario. It's like called like House on the Hill, like literally. and then another one that's like a deep sea. It's got like a octopus on the cover of it, and then another one that's pirates. So I really like Unlock.
Is that the one that we played?
That is the one that we played. I did get a chance to play another one of the Exit the Game, but we'll probably talk about that a little bit more in our what we've been playing. But I just really like the Unlock series. I think it's my favorite of the escape rooms so far, just because I just really like the mechanics. They're just so elegant, how you're like grabbing cards out of the deck and stuff like that. And I like the app integration too. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get right. Oh, we have one more thing to talk about, which is actually a pretty big thing that I want to talk about. And I don't know if you guys read this. I think I might have sent a link to you, but I was at the beach and my like internet was kind of spotty. But the Asmodee has updated their pricing policy. So they are now doing a MAP policy, which is minimum advertised price policy, very similar to what Cool Me or Not has done, or CMON has done, and what Yellow has done. They're now doing a MAP policy, and it's interesting because they completely changed the whole thing they had before. So it's kind of interesting because their MAP policy is that you can't sell their games for. They don't want you advertising prices of their games for more than 20% off of MSRP. So that's kind of interesting. So they're not saying you can only sell it at MSRP. They're saying don't sell it for more than 20% off. But now they've gone back on the whole selling online thing for game stores. So the whole thing where everyone was not allowed, if you're a game store, you either have to be a retail store or you have to be like an online store, and only like these couple online stores can sell our games, and they have to sell them at these higher prices because we're going to charge them more and stuff like that. Now they're going to allow game stores to sell games back online. There's going to be 3 different types of accounts that they deal with people. There is like the actual game store accounts, where if you have a game store account, you'll probably be able to get the games a little bit cheaper and things like that, and you'll be able to get like their tournament kits and stuff like that. And they have another account for like toys and hobbies or something like that, which is an account where they know you're not going to be like running actual like gaming space, so you're not really going to be pushing their games as much. I guess they're going to sell for a different price. And then there's like another general category. But it's kind of interesting. I actually saw that Atomic Empire was actually really excited about this. They had posted on their Twitter. Atomic Empire is a game store in Raleigh that I really enjoy going to. They're excited about being able to sell Asmodee games online again. And they already sold Asmodee games for like right at 20% off. So now they'll be able to sell Asmodee games for 20% off online and still have their like game store account, which will be interesting to see if that competes with stuff like Cool Me or Not and things like that, because they're probably going to be stuck in the online store bracket, so they might have to pay more for their stock. I don't know. It's interesting. It still sucks that the publisher is dictating what a game store can sell their games for.
Yep.
Not to mention with all the rest of you have to have Alliance and you have to sell for this price minimum, but it's still interesting. So,
hey, on the upside, that makes me really glad that I bought this for the low price of $25 on Amazon 2 days ago.
Yep. So,
which is fantastic, because that's over 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
And also,
that's a great game, by the way.
Haba joined in on doing a MAP policy as well, so they're having minimum advertised price. Basically, almost everybody in the company is doing this minimum advertised price for their games.
It's going to suck having to pay $12 for a Haba game.
I guess you're right. Most of their games aren't that expensive, so.
Yeah, that one I don't care about so much, but like, I mean, Fantasy Flight puts out $100+ games, so it's like,
The good thing is, like, compared to where it was with the online stores, 20% off is more than Cool Stuff is currently doing for their stuff. So I guess technically they could sell it for more than 20% off, but I don't know if they'll be able to make the right amount of profit for that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Good times. We'll see. At least they're opening up on the online stuff, but still being kind of weird about things. And we've talked about all that junk before. Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's get into what we've been playing. We've played a lot of awesome games here recently. So who wants to kick this off? I'm really excited about one of the games Matt has to talk about playing.
Yeah, I guess that
the,
means
the
me.
one with the cubes. You know, I love the games
Man.
with the cubes.
Played Century Spice Road, kind of a bunch. I say a bunch, like maybe 3-4 times.
That's
if
awesome,
that.
though.
It's good. It's a solid game. It is, like, man, like, the first time I played it, I was like, okay, this is fun. And then, like, the more I look at it, I was like, this, man, Emerson does, like, bang-up jobs with this game. Like, there's literally 5 things that you have to talk about, and you play the game. That's it.
That's awesome.
And not to mention the thing I was showing Rob last week where, like, the box literally sits flush with the top of the cups, so you don't have to bag the cubes up. You literally just open the box, take the little cups out, and you're ready to go. I'm like, oh, man, so good. But the game is, like, super tight. Like, it's very... I don't know. It flows very well, but the basic premise of it is you have 3 different actions you can take. There is a generate action, which is on certain cards you can generate the specified cubes that it says to. There is the upgrade action, which will let you turn any 2 cubes into a cube grade higher or 1 cube 2 grades higher. And then there's the trade action, which is literally just trade whatever it says at the top for whatever it says at the bottom. And you just try to get your cubes so that you can buy victory cards. That's it. And the first 1 to 5 victory cards signals the end of the game. Everybody takes their equidistant number of turns and totals up some points. It's pretty great.
That's awesome. How long does it take to play overall, you think?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
Like maybe 30 if you have to teach it. But no, it's good. The artwork in it is like pretty good. I mean, it does get a little repetitive because some of the cards have the same art on it, but I feel like that's intended because you can easily glance at it and go, "Oh, that's a trading card. Oh, or this is an upgrade card." But yeah, basically what you do is you either buy a merchant, which is basically one of those cards that I mentioned, to add to your hand. So it's sort of like a little bit of a deck builder, but you're trying to deck build to get cubes to buy other things. And you're just trying to cycle as fast as possible. And it's really solid.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to play it. Did you get a chance to play it, Rob?
No, I missed out.
Matt playing all the games without us.
Yeah.
Good times, though.
I did get to watch the soccer game, though, at Hector's house. It was a good game.
Good old Mexico v. Russia, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's called football, Rob. Get it right.
My bad.
Awesome. Well, I'll talk about something I've been playing. I have played several of the several of the scenarios from the Arkham Horror LCG that I've really been enjoying. I played through the Dunwich Legacy stuff a while back, but I recently got a chance to play 3 of the Mythos packs, finally caught up on getting those, and I've played these solo, and I just, like, love the Arkham Horror LCG. Like, it's a ton of fun, like, building your deck slowly and just going through the story. Like, it's ridiculous how, like, rich and the stuff in that story is for that game, because every single scenario has branching choices and different decisions you have to make that carry on to the next part of the scenario, and it's really exciting, like, discovering it. And I think it'll be cool to, like, replay it again and maybe try, like, a different branch and see what happens. There's a lot of things that, as you do things in the game, at the end of the game, it'll tell you to log it and write it down in the scenario. And then, like, things can come back to, like, haunt you if you do specific things. And it's definitely interesting to see, like, when those things pop up, and sometimes things that you might think are good might not be so good, or things like you end up helping these people out and they end up, like, coming back and helping you later and things like that. If you're not quick enough, then, like, maybe some of your people can get sacrificed off and you're no longer allowed to add those cards to your deck and stuff like that. Lots of exciting, interesting stuff that is, like, extremely narrative and thematic. Like no other game. Like, it literally is like a role-playing collectible card game almost, which is really interesting because you're getting experience and slowly leveling up your deck. But yeah, you guys should really try more of that game and see how awesome the story progresses in it as you become attached to your character as they gain weaknesses and new cards and strengths and stuff like that. But I played the Miskatonic Museum, which you're going around in a museum looking for the Necronomicon, then the something Express, where you're like on a train and you're trying to get to the engine before the train gets like wrecked. And then I played one where you're in Dunwich trying to prevent people from being sacrificed. So there's just like all sorts of stuff, and the narrative just continues from scenario to scenario. And it's great. So anybody who's interested in a great solo game, like, I know not, a lot of people are not fans of solo games or solo gaming, but I definitely recommend the Arkham Horror LCG if solo gaming is something you're interested in, because it's definitely a lot of fun. And that's my first game. What about you, Rob? Did you play anything exciting?
Well, I don't know if it's exciting, but we played Seafall again.
So you guys got another copy of Seafall? What's the backstory of that?
Well, Matt wanted to give it another shot, and they were doing a sale on the game, and he was like, "Hey, bro, if I got this, would you be willing to give it a try?" And I said, "Sure," because I love the guys that we were playing with, and we had fun with the people that we were playing with. And the game, I will say it was definitely better the second time around because my expectations were not nearly as high. In fact, I had no expectation whatsoever. And so it definitely made it where it's not so, so annoying or anything like that. But the game wasn't bad. I mean, it was just an exploration game. We got through the prologue, and then we got through one mission. So we played 2 games of it. It was fun. The only thing that not the only thing. One of the things that really sticks out to me that still has got issues is the rules. The rule book is very vague, very, very vague. And I think we spent half of the time looking up rules on BGG forums, just trying to find the answers, and those are also vague. So it's yeah, it was what it was. I mean, I'll keep playing for the time being, just because it's fun to play with our group that we're playing with. But I'm not like, hey man, let's all get together and play Seafall. So
yeah, I think that's the main problem that most people have had with the game, is the fact that there's so many good games out there. And it's not a short game to play. Like each game takes a long time to play too, right?
And if I could just say this, we
played the prologue and then the first game
in 4.5 hours. 4.5. And I will give Matt props. I know we're all talking and joking around and laughing, and I'm playing my own game with Hector while we're playing, because he put on a soundtrack, background. And so while they're explaining that rules, I'm just naming off songs and like going off of composers and things like that. So that was a lot of fun. But I'm totally being a distraction for the other people that need to know what's going on. And then we had a little quick game where we tried to break a really hard can. So I felt bad for Matt. Because like nobody was into listening to the rules, because it's one of those things where it's like it's important stuff, but it's dull, and there's no way to make it special. And so Matt's like getting frustrated and ticked off.
I wasn't necessarily frustrated. I just get like really anxious in situations like that. So I'm just sitting there just like,
where you just stopped and you were just like, and then I've learned this about Matt. I can tell when he's frustrated. When he stops, he takes a deep breath in, and then he lets it out through his nose. If the air is coming out through his nose, he's just like kind of done, because he'd go like. And also you just hear, like,
he does like a bull like.
Yeah, and it was just like, all right. Anytime I heard that like gush of wind, I was like, "Oh, Matt, what are you trying to say? My bad, bro." Yeah.
Hey, Matt, it's every day, bro. Now you know my pain.
If you notice how I feel like I'm talking about Matt in the group rather than the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's Seafall. It is what it is. I don't know what I thought.
Composers though, real quick. I was on fire.
Were you pulling an AJ with the anime intros, but with composers for
absolutely?
For
that was what Hector was just like. Man, what's happening right now?
That's awesome.
Oh boy,
that is awesome.
Yeah, man, but it's Seafall. I don't know what I was thinking.
We're thinking it was on sale for like $25.
Yeah. it's still gonna be the same game.
I mean, it's
I
not
was
bad.
like,
I was actually surprised that Ryan, not that he's not an intelligent person, but like he actually gave the game a lot more time than I thought he would. Like he didn't start to get bored with it until the end. Like he was right there with you, and I don't
He
know,
actually
it's
really
just-
seems to have like a penchant for sort of Euro-y type games.
He's just like me, where he gets frustrated with analysis paralysis.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Like Ryan and I, we sat right beside each other, and so like a combination of our two turns would every time be under 5 minutes. Combined our two turns, and then you'd hit the other corner of the table with Hector and or AJ and then Hector, and then you've got Matt who's trying
Just
to answer
nose
questions.
deep in a rule book.
And by the time it'd get to Matt's turn, he would have missed a couple people's turns, and he's like, I have no idea what just happened. Because he's
Yeah.
looking up rules from other questions. And so he would look up and be like, oh, what? Like,
I think
what?
that was the thing that bothered me the most. Is I was just like, okay, cool. Well, I'll look at this, and then like I don't think I saw anyone else's turn the entire game. I would just look up and I'd be like, come on, let me go for that thing, and then it was just like, Rob was like, can you hand me the book? I got this milestone, and I was just like, all right, I'm like 3 turns behind. I need to start paying attention. This is awful.
And that's
And
the thing about a legacy game is like you have to get the rules right, or the game could be irreversibly
But
damaged.
that's not. But the problem, Roy, it's not. Like I said, Matt was a champ. He was doing a great job. The rule book
It's
is
just
pretty
that hard.
vague.
Yeah.
It's just rather vague. It's not bad, but it's vague. And we were asking some pretty good questions. Like for
Yeah,
example,
no.
there was this one thing that I wanted to do, and
You should have just had Rob Davio on Skype with you while you played the game.
oh, that would have been
text
great.
him.
You guys still have like his Skype address, right, from when he was on
I
our
don't know if
podcast.
Rob Davio wants to talk to me though after my first initial Seafall review.
And let's be
He
honest.
didn't listen to
came on
that.
he came on this podcast to show out the Seafall or to the Seafall release. He did that. He left. He has never watched the show again. There is
But hey,
no
we
way-
talked about a
I
lot of
don't-
other
I
awesome
don't
games
want
too.
to guys
you,
are
but
doing.
you were more. Yeah, you're 100% on that.
He is somewhere else right now, just rolling in cash,
Bro, you remember
revamping old board
he was
games
sitting in
that
that
really
back
needed.
room drinking that aged whiskey. It was like
Yeah, man.
50-year-old
Eating some
whiskey,
nice
eating some cheese and
Dude,
stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, Pandemic
yeah,
Legacy
he-
2 is right around the corner, so
Yes,
he's just like,
yes.
this is gonna be the thing.
Have they announced a release date for that?
It's probably going to be
'Cause
Essen again, right?
This year or next year?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be
definitely
this year.
this year.
It's releasing
You think
this
so?
year.
It's either
Yeah.
Gen Con or Essen.
No, they said it was releasing this year.
Might be both.
Okay. I wonder if I can pre-order.
Yeah,
Probably. I know other
I
people
want
said online they
to
pre-ordered
play
it.
through the first one.
Yeah.
I've
'Cause I
got that
definitely
extra.
want to play the second one.
I want to play the second one because it's probably not as pandemic as the first one.
It definitely seems
A lot less pandemic
and a lot more like
out there.
a full legacy game where
Yeah.
it's very man.
The
I
whole
don't even
story of it looked crazy though, like looking at it with like the cloud cities and all that craziness. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Awesome. Well, I got a chance to play another one of the Exit the Games games. This is from Cosmos. They make their own Exit game as opposed to Unlock, which is made by Space Cowboys / Asmodee. These games are interesting. I think Matt talked about the one we had played on the podcast last week. And it's definitely interesting. It was a lot easier playing it, having played it the second time, knowing all the mechanics of the game. So like once you kind of like know, okay, well now we have answer cards and riddle cards and kind of know the mechanics, it's easier to just jump right into it and teach. But the puzzles are still interesting and vague and kind of abstract. And I'm not a huge fan of the fact that like you have to destroy the game to play it properly.
Yeah.
So like in these games, they're supposed to be one-time play games, where Unlock uses an application and you can play it over and over again. These games have several puzzles where you literally have to rip things up and cut things out, and it's not like a ton of stuff. Like it is a very minuscule amount of stuff that you would have to like damage the game to do it, but it's like just enough to make it where you can't really replay the game. unless you just take a lot of extra time and don't rip it up and figure it out without ripping it up, which is basically what I've done every time I play the game, so I can still let someone else play the copy of the game. But I think the hint system is interesting. This whole thing is based on a little wheel thing you're trying to get the codes for, and you're basically, to win the game, you have to get a code for each one of the symbols along the outside, which are all different shapes that correspond to different things you're trying to unlock, and there's just different puzzles. It's literally like going from one puzzle to the next puzzle to the next puzzle to the next puzzle, which is okay, but I feel like overall I like the unlock system better because it feels more thematic to me, and I just like the mechanics a little bit better of the combining of the cards and pulling the cards out of the deck, and then having the application, which can give you like audio cues sometimes too, and all sorts of different stuff. But yeah, I've played 2 of the Exit the Games and managed to not destroy them either time, but I'm sure that dramatically damaged our score, because instead of destroying stuff, you just stare at it intensely for like 10 more minutes than it would normally take.
Well, now that being said, I don't know. If you got to get out a pair of scissors and rip out a page and cut out a bunch of intricate little dominoes and then try to arrange, you're still taking time that way.
Yeah.
I mean, not as much time as you just sitting there going, all right, 5 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 4, 8 to 4.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, there's ones and the other ones that were like, it was really hard to figure out at all without like ripping it out, and I was just like, I really don't want to cut it out, and I looked at the first card and it's like, hey, rip those things up and that's how you figure it out, and I'm like, but I really don't want to. Okay, let's go to the next clue, and it's like, okay, now we figured it out. That's kind of weird, but yeah, and there's things you write on and different things like that, but you can what I did to solve something that I like had to write on to figure it out is I took a picture of it with my phone and then went into Photoshop on my phone and wrote on it on my phone. and it worked. It worked about the same amount of time it would have taken me to actually write on the card.
Absolutely.
But it was just like, yes, save the game. But yeah, good times. But yeah, I think they're fun. They're still fun. But I just enjoy the unlock stuff better because I feel like there's more of a story there. And it feels more like a story. Like, we played the Locked in a Cabin one. And I mean, it was interesting because there was like different aspects of the cabin and stuff. But there's just something about Unlock having tons of cards spread out on the table all at the same time, and everybody trying to work on the different aspects. In this game, you're only working on one puzzle at a time, period. And you can't really play it with very many people, you know? Because everybody's trying to work on that one puzzle. Like, 3 people is like almost too many. Because 3 people are trying to work on one puzzle, where really it should be like 1 or 2 people trying to work on that one puzzle, because you're all just like, there's plenty of times when people just don't have anything to do because there's nothing to look at because somebody else is holding the book or whatever. So, but still fun, and still probably worth the $15 for it, but I don't know.
Yeah. One of my favorite weird things about Exit was like, sometimes you would get the stuff out that you needed to solve a puzzle, and you would solve the puzzle, but then you had the key, but you didn't have the door yet, so you were just like,
yeah,
okay. This is neat.
You would get stuff before you needed it. I don't think you see very many
games that do that.
You would get stuff before you needed it, but it was very obvious that you had it before you needed it.
Yeah.
And in Lock, sometimes you would have things before you need them, but they're just kind of like nebulous and sitting out on the table, and then you're like, oh, what about that thing over there that we had? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And Lock, it feels like it'll give you multiple puzzles to solve at the same time, and you're just like, oh man, we got to add this and this together, and oh man, that and that add together, and since we got this one, this adds to that thing we got way back then, and with this, it's very much like, you're doing this puzzle now, do that puzzle to completion. Now you're doing this puzzle now, do that puzzle to completion, and that was just not as exciting for me. But it was still fun and worth playing if somebody has a copy and you want to try to play it. But the fact that people are mostly going to be ripping up their copies, you're probably not going to be able to just borrow it from anybody. So, good times. Exit the Game. Still fun, but I enjoy a different exit room game better. Did you guys have any other things you want to talk about, or we just hit this topic because we're getting pretty late?
Yep. Let's go.
Awesome. So today we're talking about games on the go. I just came back from vacation, so I was thinking about taking games with you as you go places. Do you ever take any board games with you or any games with you when you are out on the go or on a trip?
Yes. Next question.
Next question.
I mean, of course I take stuff with me.
I don't know. I'm a board game junkie, so I pretty much like always have games with
It is
me
weird because I've
sometimes.
had you go with me now to multiple conventions.
Dude,
in
I'll
my
take a
car,
freaking duffel
and
bag.
Your games they take up easily 2 to 3 times the space as your clothes. Like your clothes are
Guaranteed.
eh.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
All my clothes could fit in, the Star Wars Rebellion game box, but then I'll get like 2 Haba bags worth of games I'm bringing.
Hey, I want to have variety when I go to play games. But yeah.
I'm excited to see how much you're bringing to Dice Tower Con.
Hey, but it's just us riding in the car. We should be fine. Should be fine.
You can have the whole trunk.
You can take the back seat. Awesome. But yeah. And I mean, I'll even throw like small games in my pocket when I go out to like different places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What games do you think, or where are we? What are some really good games that you can take out with you when you're out and about?
Like out and about, like at a restaurant or something? Or just
Anywhere.
Like, you're going to a friend's house.
Whichever.
Like, I won't take any more than 4.
Yeah.
And typically when I take that many, we only play 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I usually take 1 or 2 that I know everyone's going to like that are crowd pleasers.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll take 1 or 2 that, man, if you guys would let me, I would love to teach you this game because it's so much better. But people are like, nah, let's play these crowd pleasers. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm a 1 to 4 guy. Sometimes I'll be a little sneaky and I'll fill in that 5th game. But yeah. How about y'all?
I like to carry around like Love Letter in my pocket sometimes. I know some people are down on Love Letter, but I've played that game so many times.
Didn't you just watch your copy of
Yes,
Love Letter too long
I
ago?
kept my original copy of Love Letter in my pocket, and I guess my wife threw my clothes in the laundry. Or one of us threw my clothes in the laundry and forgot to take the check the pockets for anything. And my original copy of Love Letter, which I actually got before the game like even came out like actual release, because my friend Tim was working with AEG and they had given him a copy of the game before it was actually in production. And so I was playing that game. I was playing that game before everybody knew about Love Letter. Anyway, so
Yeah, but
hipster.
that's Roy Candidate for you.
But yeah, I had that game for forever and it got washed. And I was like, it's sad, but I have so many versions of Love Letter that it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
But yeah, other than that, I've taken like Entropy with me places. Like when we go, like we had like me and a couple of my guy friends went out to like Sheets like late at night to just go get Sheets food for whatever reason, just to hang out. And I grabbed like Entropy and I think we had like another like Bang the Dice game or something like that. And we just played some Entropy at Sheets while we were eating terrible food. But just simple stuff like that. Like I'll just grab a game and bring it with me if I'm like going to hang out with the guys or something like that, just in case we decide to play a game. So it's good stuff. Normally super quick games. What about you, Matt?
It's just party games most of the time, unless like more recently we've been doing like game nights where I can go, hey guys, check out this this big box game. But
Yeah.
most of the time it's just like, you guys want to play a game with sticks? Let's do it.
Yeah.
You've been keeping games in your trunk almost to the detriment of the games at some point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're not behind me, but boy, that that Xenoshift box is light green.
You got the Xenoshift box? You just got that game.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little faded. Looks it's got a lot of good wear on it, I think is the appropriate term, even though I've only played the game once. It's good times. Lesson learned: don't leave games in your trunk in the summer months. It's not great.
Especially if your trunk has like glass on top of it and the sun can get in.
Yeah, don't put it in a hatchback.
For sure. Awesome. Well, as long as your Blood Rage minis aren't melted, then you're good.
I mean, they seem mostly fine.
Because Cool Mini or Not doesn't play. You know, if those were Fantasy Flight minis, they'd be like in a puddle in the bottom of the box.
Yeah.
With how hot it's been lately. Awesome. So, have you played any games in public at like restaurants or bars, anything like that before?
No.
Never?
Well, yes, with you guys, like Gen Con and stuff, but not just like on my own.
Did we ever play any like at a restaurant when we went out though?
I don't know. I'm assuming we did, and not that I was inebriated from alcohol, because I don't. It's just like, if you were present and we were at a con, games were played or talked about or something. Something with games.
Yep.
Mentally, I played games. How about that? Mentally, I played games, and I won all of them.
Nice. What about you, Matt?
Some tic-tac-toe.
Coffee shops are also mentioned in the chat. Ever played games at coffee shops?
Oh yeah, now I have done that. I've played Ashes.
Oh yeah, because you played at Panera a lot, right?
Yeah.
We played.
Yeah.
No, we didn't play at Panera.
No, we had a little
had
meeting.
meetings
It was
at Panera.
cute. It was cute. Remember that time where like Roy ordered food and Matt and I were just like not paying attention to anything he was saying because we were just looking at the food, and he was just like, "I'm gonna bring part of this home for my wife," and Matt and I were like, "We're sitting right here, big boy. Just handle that sandwich."
Meetings.
Yeah.
Good
Oh, and
times.
also like we played at I have played at restaurants. Yes. Part of the local board game group a while ago played like at Foothills Brewing and other places like that.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, I played plenty of games
Oh, nice.
in
Yeah.
restaurants.
I used to carry Love Letter around with me, and when I get together with certain, like my friend Greg and his wife Brandy, we'd play like Love Letter. Like I remember going to like an Indian restaurant, and while we were waiting for our food, we played like a couple rounds of Love Letter, and we played at Sheets. I've gone to Hops and played Love Letter at Hops before. I know that. And
What's
then at the same Panera Bread with my friend Greg, I've also played like 2-player Onirim and stuff like that. Just random small games you can fit in your pocket where it's like, hey, we're hanging out. Might as well just mess with this game or whatever. Or I say, hey, we're hanging out. Might as well mess with this game. but yeah, I think it's fun.
See, that's where like being my size, because my pockets are like huge.
You can just fit the full-size game in there.
Well, almost, but like a Rhino Hero or something would definitely fit.
Yeah. You can just do cargo pants and have like different components in each pocket. And then when you get there, you just pull the components out of each pocket and you got the full game. That's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you played any games in public, Matt?
No.
Matt hides his shame. He's like,
Yeah.
I just go to the dungeons where it's allowed.
I
Go in some weather.
also played Cash and Guns at a local bar or
Oh
whatever.
boy.
And we were playing in public,
That's-
and people were like, "What are you guys doing?" Because literally, it is late at night, it is dark, and we're playing outside because this is the Brewer's Kettle in Kernersville. They don't have like a indoor area really for people to sit besides if you're sitting at the bar. So you have like these picnic tables outside with like an awning over it or whatever, and we're sitting out there playing Cash and Guns, and all these people who are there just doing the bar thing are like coming up being like, what are these guys doing, like quick drawing these foam guns on each other. And we had some people come up and ask us about the game and stuff like that, and we explained it to them and stuff. We also played Cards Against Humanity because that's what the other people wanted to play, and we played that there, and a few people actually knew what that was when they walked by. But yeah, it's definitely interesting talking to random people when they're like, oh my gosh, what are you guys playing?
Cash and Guns is like a fun game to play like at a bar or a restaurant or something.
It
Especially
definitely
like where
gets
you can get
looks
out.
like if you're trying to play a game low key, that is not a game that you play low key because you're literally
You
whipping
play
out
it low
foam
key
guns.
at first, and then the first time you pull out a pistol, somebody's like, "Hey, whoa, hey!" All right,
But do you guys
it's
shout
kinda hard to stop, it's
"Banzai" when you make your picks?
We normally say like
Oh, man.
3, 2, 1, like fire or whatever. I don't know.
Now, see, when I
supposed
first
to say
played it at
Banzai,
Gen Con at the demo, they were like, all right, when I say 3, everybody has to yell "Banzai."
Yeah.
And so it was, ever since then, that's how I try to play it. And I think I've tried to have you guys do that a couple times.
I think the
Nobody
rules
got
say
on
to say bonsai or something like that as opposed to like shoot or fire or draw or whatever. So
We need to play that game again.
it's great. Awesome. So do you bring any games with you when you go to any like non-game related gatherings or anything?
Depends on who I'm with and what I'm there for. Like if it's business or family, then no.
Yeah.
Depending on the family. Like if it's my family, I know we can get some card games in. If they come to my house, I'll try to bring it out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just depends on who's going to be there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I bring games everywhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying too hard to get everybody to check out games that they've never heard of before, but
guys, play this game like me, please. Like it. Come on.
I don't know. If I really wanted people to like me, I probably wouldn't be forcing games on them, but I want people to like games. So.
No, I'm not saying like you,
hey
but
guys,
it's just
do you want to develop a crippling habit that costs a lot of money? Here you go.
I ruined Matt. I'm sorry, Matt.
Like that, Matt.
I'm sorry, Matt.
I mean, it's fine. I'd rather take cocaine at this point, man.
No. I've definitely seen tons of memes online with pictures of their board game collection, and they're like, when you realize that this has cost you more than a drug addiction or something like that. It's terrible.
Hey, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
But yeah,
you're getting good social skills playing the game.
Werewolf to my wife's work parties. And it became like a tradition. Like whenever we'd play Werewolf at her Target pharmacy work parties, and they would literally ask for it like each time. They'd be like, "Oh man!" Like after the first time, they'd be like, "Oh man, let's play. Did you bring Werewolf? Let's play Werewolf." And it got to the point where like in later years, I brought out like Hanabi and several other games that we played like while just eating hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff at normal work picnic get-together. We were playing all these crazy games that those other people probably never played any games like that any other point in the year, except when they were around me. Craziness. Good stuff. But yeah, AJ, who's in chat, also had an awesome game about playing Love Letter at the bus stop with some old dudes. That was a pretty awesome story. I think he talked about
that was
last time he was on the podcast. So
the only time he was on the podcast, and I miss him.
We need you,
and it's
AJ.
My bad, AJ. My bad. I'll try not to enjoy myself next time you're on. I'll try to be cool.
Good times.
But anyway, I don't think it's a bad thing to get into the gaming hobby. There are so many other things that you could be addicted to.
Right.
But look what gaming promotes. It promotes group interaction. It promotes, if you do it the right way, it promotes healthy hygiene. It promotes, good verbal and not being awkward. What is it when like people are
introverted?
Yeah, but it's more than just introverted. You know how like some people are just socially awkward. Yeah. It helps work on people who are socially awkward.
Social anxiety.
Social anxiety and stuff like that. And it's a good, clean fun. I mean, there's so many other things you could be spending money on. And being introverted and staying by yourself and playing that video game and not leaving your closet and staying in that dark place and doing all that stuff. Or you can get out of your gaming room and you can play with people, and so it's a great thing. So for all those people that are out there spending money, continue to spend money. I will continue to spend money. This is going to be a great thing, and we'll all play games together. It's going to be beautiful, and we'll have Matt teach us the games, and we're not going to listen, but he's going to do such a great job, and I'm so proud of him. I really am. It's just every time I say he taught the game, I just have a flashback of his face in the... and it's just hilarious. But don't stop.
Believing? Don't stop believing?
Yeah, I was going to say buying, but then I was like, buying what? Don't stop buying what? Because then you could buy cocaine. So, but yeah, don't...
I think it's interesting, like with the work get-togethers or whatever, you could have this whole event of just like small talk about work and talking about how things are going at work, and like walk away being like, okay, well, we ate some burgers and did some things. But instead of that, everybody has these crazy memories of how this person betrayed that person and they were the werewolf, and oh my gosh, the next time we play they're like, oh, I don't trust you because you're always the werewolf, you're so good at lying, and just all these crazy stories of things that people remember about that night or those nights that like normally would have just been like, oh yeah, we went to this gathering and we ate some stuff and had like a little party and then left. Instead, there's these weird, crazy stories about different people yelling at each other because they were accusing each other of being a werewolf. And I think it's interesting the experiences that the games can create as opposed to just hanging out, small talking, you know. I don't know. I think it's fun. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think it's exciting to play games with people, especially new people. Do you ever get anxiety about non-gamers seeing you game or gaming around non-gamers?
No.
Do you ever feel ashamed that you're doing this nerdy thing?
No, I don't ever get anxiety about that. That's just me as a person. Like, I love my wife. I really do feel like I have the best wife in the world. And one of the things that I love about my wife is she is so freaking confident. And in life and a lot of things, she's very black and white. And she's very blunt. And I love that because I always know where I stand with her. And we have a great relationship and all that stuff. But I say that to say she's rubbed off on me in a lot of good ways. And so, like, I am who I am. And I really don't care. If you don't like it, great. You don't like it. I feel comfortable enough in my own skin to be able to not to agree with you, whether it comes to faith, whether it comes to political views, whether it comes to hobbies, whether it comes to movies, whether it comes to anything. Like, I'm okay with having a difference of opinion. I don't need my life to be one big Facebook post where everybody clicks like.
Did you get stuck? Or did it freeze for real? It froze for real. Awesome. Rob, we miss you. But yeah, for me, as far as like the anxiety around like non-gamers seeing me, I don't know, I'm pretty bold about it. I guess since I'm such a board game evangelist or whatever, a person trying to talk about board games all the time, like I'm always out there like not afraid. Like, I played tons of board games and like card games and all sorts of stuff at work for forever, and like all my coworkers saw me doing that, and I never had a problem with it. The old store manager at Target, like we were playing games of Magic and stuff like that, and he came up to us and was like, "What are you guys playing, Dungeons and Dragons?" Kind of like halfway making fun of us. I was like, "Oh man, no, that's like on Tuesday nights. Like that's not, we can't play that day at work. You can't like play a whole, like Dungeons and Dragons is an all day game or at least all night game. You can't play that during lunch break. We're just playing Magic the Gathering. But if you want to come to our D&D group, like that's cool." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to have a roommate that played Dungeons and Dragons under the covers, and they'd be up late playing Dungeons and Dragons under their covers." I'm like, I don't know if that's Dungeons and Dragons, man. but
there are certainly some Dungeons and some Dragons, but not the type you typically want to play with.
Not the ones that involve the...
I take that back. Some people want to play with them.
Different kinds of role-playing completely. But,
Hey.
But yeah, I've always not been too ashamed of... gaming out in public, and I think it's awesome if people like are like, "What are you guys doing?" "Oh yeah, I'll tell you what we're doing. We're playing these games and they're awesome." But I actually had a comment on our last Favorite Game Friday, which was games at work, where we're actually talking about what games are good to play during the lunch hour and things like that. And somebody said, well, it must be a lot different in America than in, I forget which country he said he was from, but he's like, here, like, it's definitely considered very nerdy and geeky to play tabletop games, so I would never play games like out in the open at work. So I thought that was kind of interesting that I was just like, just don't care like me, just do it and see what happens. So,
yeah.
What do you think, Matt? Would you get worried about other people being like, what's this guy doing playing games?
I don't know. I'm anxious all the time, so it doesn't really matter. It's just a state of on high. So it's just like, oh, cool. Yeah. Everybody's judging me all the time. these people probably judging me for this. These people probably judging me for that. It's okay. Move on.
I have had those situations where I have set up a game on the table and no one wanted to play it with me, and I sadly put the game back in the box, and that is extremely awkward. But it's not as often as you might think, so you never know unless you set it up on the table first and then have everybody look at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. Good times. I think we seriously lost Rob for forever. I tried to add him back to the podcast so many times.
He said his computer crashed. He's restarted.
Okay, I'll stop adding him. But we can continue on to the next question. What do you think is the most important thing when you're looking for a good on-the-go game?
Box size.
Yeah.
Gotta be small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not taking Scythe on the go, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes the cut. That game's massive.
Box size and setup time and play time.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on where you're taking it, because if you're just taking it, to, like, your friend's house, you might be able to get away with something like Blood Rage or something that's a little bit bigger, but
right.
I don't know. Nothing crazy. Nobody's dragging TI3 to the beach.
I mean, depends on who you're going to the beach with, but...
Yeah, I mean, why go to the beach? Just stay at home.
I don't know. Sometimes it's good to play TI3 in different atmospheres. No, not really. Just play it in your own dungeon.
As dark as possible. That's what
it needs to be as dark as space itself when it's not in direct light of... I don't know what I'm saying. Good times. Yeah, I think you're right as far as like box size and stuff like that, being able to keep it with you wherever.
Yeah.
I thought of a different question. Whenever you go to different game nights or conventions or anything like that, do you have anything specifically that you like pack your games in? I know there's a lot of people that make actual specific carrying cases for board games, and they're pretty pricey sometimes. But have you seen any of those, or what do you carry your games around in?
Hands. Pretty good at stacking them up in my hands. Can carry about 7.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's pretty solid. I need somebody to open doors for me, though. That is the one downside.
Nice.
And I kind of can't see where I'm going. But other than that, not bad. Not bad. Then again, I'm not like taking them like crazy places. It's mostly just like up the street. I'm not like... Hey.
I know there's a lot of people that have weekly game days like at other people's houses or at restaurants or at different meeting places, and I think they probably get a lot more use out of like gaming carrying cases and things like that. But since I really only I mostly play games at my house, so they like stay here. And if I do take them out, if I'm going to a con, I'll put them in like a duffel bag, or if I'm like just going to like a game night or something like that, I'll just throw some in like a fabric reusable bag that I have several of, or my Haba bag. I put them in there, so which I got at Gen Con.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. I know that it's kind of funny because like all these people there's been like Kickstarters for these like $100 bags like that are like nice, like padded, lined, and like fits the perfect Ticket to Ride size boxes, and you can stack them in there and everything like that. And I'm just like, man, that is a lot of money to spend on a bag. Like $100, I'd rather literally buy another game. Like it's just like a super luxury item. And there's a lot of people that have started buying these. Do you know what I think it's called like a... Do you know the little boxes that you sit on and drum on, like the Cajun or whatever? How do you pronounce that?
Cajones.
Cajones, yes. The Cajones. Apparently, if you go on Amazon, Cajon bags make amazing board game like travel bags. And
this is literally everything Mark Hale's been talking about in chat for like the past 10 minutes.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
he's even posted Amazon links to them. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so if you're currently in our chat, you're missing out. But there's these awesome bags you can get that you can carry the stuff in, and they're like literally like $12 or like $20, like around that price range, and like super cheap, and they fit a whole bunch of of gaming bags. It's kind of crazy because like now if you go search for like cajones or whatever, like board games start popping up and stuff like that because so many people are buying those bags off of Amazon for it, which is pretty hilarious. But yeah, if you're looking for a super cheap traveling option for your games, check out some cajon bags. Nice.
Yeah.
Rob, where are you? We're about to need Rob real quick. So what would you say your all-time favorite game that you can take with you anywhere is?
Mm.
You want me to go first? I'll do it.
Yes, please.
I'll say it. I love Rhino Hero. Like, I'll take that game anywhere all the time. Like, it's super small, super lightweight. I don't know that Rhino Hero would be the perfect, like, ideal restaurant game, because, I don't know, that's a little bit... You don't want the cards falling in your food or anything crazy. And that will definitely draw eyes if you're playing Rhino Hero.
And your neighbor like, hey, I'm sorry about that card. No, don't
but,
mind
like,
me.
as far as games on the go and quick-playing games, like, Rhino Hero just, like, is perfect for taking to all the conventions or when you go anywhere. Pretty much... Anytime I go anywhere that's like a gaming thing, I definitely take Rhino Hero. And anytime I go other places, sometimes I still take Rhino Hero too, just because like I still love that game. Like it's one of my favorite dexterity games of all time, and I played it a bunch at the beach. I taught my wife's cousins, like little cousins, how to play Rhino Hero, and had a lot of fun playing that. So Rhino Hero is still a great go-to game to play wherever on the go.
Yay.
Yay! Did you survive, Rob?
I don't know what happened, bro.
You got lost in time and space, man. You got exiled to the Upside Down, I think. We had to bring you back. The Demogorgon got a hold of you.
That'd be kind of cool if it was.
I disagree. I feel like that it's a bit traumatic. I don't think...
No,
a few things.
It would be the fact that world was real.
It would literally be worldview changing for me, I'm pretty sure. If the Demogorgon actually took you, I would just be like, how do I perceive the universe now? Like I don't get it. So
that was always one of my favorite questions where people were like, hey, if you could be in an intellectual property universe, what universe would it be?
Sure, one's the happiest.
So no, there's so many ideas.
Like my go-to answer was always the Harry Potter universe, because if you knew about it, you're explicitly tied into it now, and you can go all and do all this fanciful stuff, even if you're just like a muggle. You can just be like, hey, wizard friend, take me someplace where I can watch fly sports. Yes, bring me the Quidditch, all of it.
Bro, I would be so much fun to be in Harry Potter.
But it's like people are like Star Wars, and I feel like it's one of those things where it's just Star Wars could be happening right now, like way that way, and we just don't know.
Far away.
It really could though.
Yeah. And I suppose Harry Potter could be the same, but I feel like if you know about it, at least you could get to it. You could claw your way in.
Yeah.
I mean, try to have some little wizard babies.
Bro, I would.
Just have to.
Man, I'd have some wizard babies.
Just have to woo yourself a nice wizard or witch.
Just like, Dad, I want to be a
hello.
doctor. No, you're about to be a wizard. I'm sending you off to this crazy school in
You can
Britain.
be a wizard doctor. It's fine.
Right.
Wizard
Work.
surgery.
Dad, I don't want to do that. I want to be a board gamer. No, you about to learn how to do this. You're about to
Man,
read
but think about the board games in that universe. Come on, man. They got chess where the chess pieces literally break each other into pieces.
Bro, they have.
Can you imagine Twilight Imperium with actual lasers? Come on.
That'd be so awesome. See, I get hype about stuff like that. Like, I think about that kind of stuff, and I get hype.
So hyped that he writes a book about it.
I mean,
kind of.
It's not any good, but I wrote it.
Hey, man, I'll decide that in a minute. I'd say a minute, a month.
Here's what I expect to happen from you, Matt. Realistically, you're gonna you're gonna read like maybe to like the 5th or 6th chapter, and you're gonna be like, you're gonna send me a text, and it's gonna be like, hey man, listen, I'm just like really busy right now, and we both know you're not really busy. But I'm just like, I'm really busy right now, man. Looking over all these Steam deals that are going on right now for the summer. I can't read anymore. And that's your nice way of saying this is garbage. I don't want to read anymore.
Do you have a deadline for him to read it?
No. I mean, the sooner the better, because like me as a person, I'm paranoid. Like I want to text all my beta readers every day. So what do you think about this chapter? What do you think about this? But I know not everybody is like that, and so I'm not gonna do that.
I started reading a book in February, and I think I'm a little over halfway through it, and I haven't read it for a couple of months. It's a very good story. It's very engaging, but for some odd reason, I just stopped.
Hey,
I don't know why.
When's the audiobook come out, Rob?
I'm hoping the fact that you know the author for this one would kind of
pushes me through.
Pushes you through.
Can I get you to read it to me, Rob?
Bro, if it ever goes audiobook, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Eric Summerer, what's up, man?"
Yeah, man, we can get those connections. I think we can make that happen.
I may say hi to him real awkwardly at Dice Tower Con next week. Like, "Hey, man,
we're gonna make it happen.
Let me talk to you over here."
So I asked Matt, and he didn't answer. But what is your all-time favorite game that you can take with you anywhere?
That I could take with me. Like, okay, if we're saying take with you, all right, we're talking about like pocket size, right? Pocket or smaller size.
I mean, I don't judge you if you just walk around with.
All right, real quick side note, Mark Hale, you will never have anything to do with my book except for being a customer who buys it online. You will not do the audiobook. You will not be a beta reader. I don't even know who you are, sir, so I won't even know where to send it. No. Side note, it would probably have to be Rhino Hero. I think it's one of the funnest, easiest ones that you could transport. Also, it is just such a great game, and it's really small where I could like fit it and take it with me. And it's also a game where like out in public, it's small enough, the footprint of it, where like you could play in a table, like if you're at a restaurant or doing something like that. And it's just fun. I imagine after playing it a couple times, I could see people coming over to the table like, what's that? And I could see like parents getting mad at their kids because their little kids now want to come over and play with us at our table. And I'm like, it's okay. And the parents are like, I don't know you, stranger danger, leave my child alone. I'm like, no.
That's 2 for Rhino Hero, because I already did my whole spiel on how I love Rhino Hero.
Yeah, I think mine is going to be not Rhino Hero, surprisingly.
I'm pretty sure that's a prerequisite for the podcast. Sorry, Matt, you got to go. I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, I'll see you guys later.
No, Matt.
No, it's good.
One
Night Ultimate Werewolf.
If it was absolutely, that's it.
It's a great one.
If the only reason I would pick Rhino Hero over One Night is if I had to say teach a whole lot of people or try to get people excited for something. Rhino Hero is much better for that. But like One Night, I feel like I could just be at a party and be like, "Hey, y'all bored?
No,
you want to scream at each other for a little bit? Here we go."
But this is why Rhino's better.
You just
One Night, you have that time period where you have to be quiet. And you got to be able to listen to what's going on in the game. And you got to make sure you're not being able to look around and see who's got stuff going on. And I could just imagine, especially if you're playing in a party setting where it's loud and people are always bumping into each other and stuff, that could be annoying, where, you know, you're not going to necessarily have to worry about the noise for a Rhino Hero.
Yeah, but the thing is with Werewolf, though, you could just go, "Everyone at this party, I need your attention for literally 5 minutes." And if they don't want to play again, that's fine. But you could prospectively just rolled a whole house of people into a game of frenzied screaming, which is always
it depends on how big your party is.
Yeah, that's true too.
The good thing about Rhino Hero is that you really only have to talk one person into playing it with you, and then you play it with them once, and then everybody else will want to play it because it looks so awesome. So
now, I will say this. Ultimate Werewolf, not One Night, but Ultimate Werewolf, that's a lot of fun to play at a party.
Yeah.
I've done that with big groups before. I think the biggest I've ever played with is like 30. That's a lot of fun. And also, especially if you're at a party, people don't necessarily care about being eliminated because then they can
go eat
talk,
the snacks.
chat, and go eat snacks. And then they laugh and get mad at the people who killed them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's been my experience with playing it at like the work parties and stuff like that. So
yeah. So next question before my computer crashes again.
That was the last question. So now it's the important part, Rob.
What's that?
We want to thank our amazing patrons for supporting us on Patreon. And
did you send us one?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our Patreon goes to support the show and helps us do what we do here, helps pay for the bills for Epic Gaming Night. It just helps us get a lot of things that's going on. It helped us do our game of the month, our game of the quarter, where we reviewed a game. We just reviewed Inish, and the actual video review is up on the Dice Tower right now, so make sure to go check that out. And Rob's going to take it away with the Patron of the Week.
Listen. You know what's really going to be taking away? Our breath, our souls, our desire to live. That's what gets taken away when I think of this person, because I can't compare. I can't compete. I'm not. When I think of this person right here, I think of everything that I aspire to be. I think of the people I want my daughters to be. I think about, man, everything, life would just, I almost feel like my simple, pale existence of life would just be complete. Not even if I met this person, but if I was just in the same room as this person. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll give you a clue. I'm talking about the one and the only Annette Villa. I'm going to say Villa because it's the two L's, so I'm going to go with the Spanish route on it, or it could be Villa. But Annette, you are the A that starts everything, and not everything like with an E. I'm talking about you are the A. You are the beginning. You are the alpha. You are absolutely amazing, and you are such an awesome Patreon. Annette, you are the reason why I tell my wife, I say, wife, you listen. You sit over there. I'm doing this for Annette. And if you even knew who Annette was, you wouldn't even trying to interrupt right now. Annette is the reason why I feel like I can be a man. She gives me the strength that I need. She is the person that I'm constantly just telling my daughter, like, listen. You need, when you grow up, look at this. Don't look at mommy. Don't look at daddy. Look at Annette. I want you to be like Annette when you grow up. She's everything that we could hope for. And if by chance, if Annette is a man, be strong like Annette. Be strong like Annette, which I don't believe Annette is a man. But if Annette is a man, man, what a great man. Man, oh man, what a great man. Annette, we appreciate you. We thank you very much for everything that you've done. We thank you for being a part of the show. We thank you for being a part of Patreon. And most importantly, we thank you for putting up with us. We can't thank you enough for everything that you do. You are the A of my life. You are the alphabet. And you're the alphabet noodles in my alphabet soup. You are the reason I keep going. Annette, you're awesome. And if my wife's listening, I love you. I'll do whatever you say. You're the best.
Thanks. And if anybody wants to check out our Patreon, you can check it out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Nights. Ah, so good. We stream these every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. Make sure to check us out. Also, hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. And also make sure to check out our videos on the Dice Tower Network. We do Favorite Game Friday over there, and also do reviews. We just did a review of Tiny Epic Galaxies Beyond the Black, and then we all did a review together of Inish, so make sure to go check those out. And Matt has actually joined Favorite Game Friday for the last couple weeks, which is pretty cool. People are like, Matt, hype! But good times. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this podcast. You all have been great.
You guys are amazing. So glad Roy's back. Even though the only bad thing about Roy coming back is that means Mark Cale is back. And so, I mean, it was nice to have that week off. But definitely glad you're back, Roy.
Thanks. Awesome. Peace.
Bye.
Hey, we're gonna have to do next week's podcast like on Monday.
I know, because I was like, oh man, we're gonna be gone.
That's fine. Y'all don't want to do a live cast from Dice Tower Con?
No,
I don't know how our internet connection is gonna be. I have like no clue how well that will work. Do you know what our internet's gonna be like at the condo, Rob?
the cheapest Wi-Fi possible.
Yeah, it's probably not a
And
good
I don't
idea.
I don't know if we got the Wi-Fi package.
It would be easy for us to just do it on Monday. Ambi's gonna be there. Who Ambi's in chat right now.
Yeah, MB is in chat. She's awesome. But
That'd be cool.
hey, so Tuesday, are you ready to go like Tuesday morning?
Yeah, man, I meant to say something about it on the podcast. I should add that to the news.
Yeah.
We can definitely talk about it on the next podcast, but I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, we'll be there.
What
We will be there.
what time are we leaving?
I don't know. I just got permission from my wife that we could leave earlier. We are helping set up for a 4th of July picnic for the neighborhood association that we're board members
gotcha.
of. And she was just like, hey, if you need to leave early, you can. I was like, what? She was like, yeah. So I may try to leave that morning if I can get away with it. So if you're
Gotcha.
available, I'd love for you to park your car at my house and we'll just leave.
Okay. I have
Because we got
to,
about a 9.5 hour drive.
So I guess we'll do the podcast on Monday. Anybody who's in chat, make sure to come back next Monday. And I'll try to like get it edited Monday night, so that way
Yeah.
it'll be good to go up. I also have to have like favorite game Friday ready, even though doesn't go up till Friday. I have to have it like edited and done by like Monday, I guess. So I need
What's
to
the favorite game Friday this week?
filler games. So short games that you can play in between other games or while you're waiting for other people to show up.
Hey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make Friday's game night because I actually think I'm teaching games to some people from church, so I'm actually kind of excited about that. I may start
Gotcha.
like a little church group.
Gotcha. We're still gonna do something in an afternoon, right? Or
I'm hoping Thursday and Friday.
that's crazy.
I've got to learn Golden Compass and Champions of Midgard. And what was the other game I texted you?
Seven Ronin?
No.
No.